Very good, thank you.
I wanted to start with the sad news of Pele passing yesterday. World football's been in mourning. How much of an influence was he on you as a player?
Well, obviously, everything that I've seen of him and hear of him has been through videos and people who knew him personally, and a lot of relationships that I have always in football, but someone that probably changed the dimension of a single player in world football because he could do a bit of everything. He was probably the most complete player that the game has ever seen. And yeah, it's a big loss. We had two big losses with him and Maradona in the last years. So.
Obviously, you have quite a few Brazilian players in the squad. Was there any talk about his legacy and what he meant to them?
They probably don't. Obviously, we did talk about that the other day, and obviously they are very emotional because it's one of the most popular figures in Brazil, and yeah, it's a big loss.
Looking ahead to your next game at Brighton tomorrow, could you give us an update on team news, please?
Everything is good so far, apart from the players that we already had out. Everybody's been training well.
Is Tomiyasu any closer to being ready for the game?
Yeah, he's getting closer and closer. He's been training with us, so he's available.
He'll be available for selection. Looking at Brighton, of course, you're already aware of the challenges that they can pose coming up against them in that League Cup. What lessons did you take from that game?
Well, that they are a really good team. They are playing at a really high level. A team that dominates almost every phase of play that is relevant to dominate a football match. A team that has a lot of confidence and play with a lot of personality. I know the coach really well. He's someone that I follow for a period now, and they're doing really well.
I just wanted to ask you about Eddie Nketiah. Of course, there was lots of talk about him following the previous game. Just how pleased are you with him stepping up once again?
That's what we need from the players. Obviously, we had a big blow with Gavi, and not having him obviously had a big impact in the team. And we always said that Eddie had the qualities and he needed the opportunity to show that, and he did it again on Saturday.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Okay, Mikel, you now know you're going to be top heading into the new year. How does that make you feel?
Very good, but my feeling is about tomorrow, and I'm playing well tomorrow, and I'm performing at the level that we're going to need to win the game against a really good side, and that's the focus. We are really happy where we are, but as I always said, there are a lot of things that we can still do better and improve, and we have to show that in the next coming games.
How challenging are you expecting the game to be? Because had quite a difficult record against Brighton in the last few seasons.
It is always a really difficult and tricky game. They have individually a lot of quality, a lot of composure on the ball. A team that is really aggressive, and tomorrow they will ask some big questions. So we're going to have to be at a really high level to win the game.
What have you made of the job that Roberto's done so far at Brighton? Have you seen changes that he's made since Graham Potter left?
Yeah, every manager has his ideas and is different. You could see a lot of similarities what he did at Sassuolo, what he did at Shakhtar as well, and his way of understanding the game, and he always plays that kind of game.
How much closer is Emil Smith-Rowe to being part of a matchday squad?
Very much. He's made some big steps in the last week or so. He's took part in a few training sessions lately, and he's looking good. So we are really keen to have him back soon.
No Gabriel Jesus on Boxing Day, but all your front three scored. Just how much confidence does that give you that you can cope without him in the short term?
Well, it's just a game, and we have to show the consistency and the capacity to do that every 3 days, and we have another opportunity to do that against Brighton tomorrow.
It was a really special atmosphere at the Emirates with Arsene Wenger returning to the club. Are you aware of any plans for a statue to be built around the stadium?
It was a great day. It was a really emotional day. Finally happened. It happened in a natural way. I think he got what he deserved, which was a big ovation from our crowd and a really good feeling of welcome from everybody the moment he was around the stadium. So I'm really pleased with that because he absolutely deserves that.
And finally for me, Shakhtar Donetsk admitted they're in talks with Arsenal about the signing of Mudryk. Have you got any indication on that transfer? Is it moving closer or is it likely to happen?
I cannot talk about players that is not Arsenal. Thank you.
Anybody else have a question at this point?
I just wanted to go back again to the West Ham game, and obviously early on William Saliba game where a team that recovered really well, showing great character for someone who's so young. How important is it for the club to try and tie down the future of a player like?
Yeah, obviously we have a few of those that we are willing to extend the contract. Will is one of them. I think he's shown in the months that he's been with us the quality and as again the personality that he has to play at the level that we want, and we are trying to do that because we know that he can be a really important part for our plans.
The contract talks progressing well.
Sorry?
Are the contract talks progressing well with Saliba?
I hope so. That's more to Edu and the board to be discussing with him. But what I know is that the player is really happy. The player wants to be here, and that's the main thing.
Hi, Mikel. I know you've spoken a lot about the energy the team get from the fans at home and the improvement in the results at home. Just wondering, away from home, what does that more come down to when there's less fans? Is it more kind of game management?
They are louder, and they are not that many. But we still have a huge support and a lot of people traveling with the team, and they've been extraordinary as well away from home. So it's a different atmosphere. We have played some big games already this season away from home, and tomorrow will be another one.
At the end of last season, you mentioned having to kind of understand the mood of those sorts of games. Do you think that's something that's kind of improved this year?
Sorry, there.
At the end of last year, you spoke about having to understand the mood of a specific game. This was after Newcastle.
Mhm.
I'm just wondering, do you think the squad have kind of improved with that?
Yeah, but you can improve. But every game is a challenge. Every context is different, and tomorrow will be a very special day. It's New Year's Eve, and I'm sure the stadium will be pretty loud, and we're gonna be ready for that.
And just one last one. You've spoken quite a lot about other sports like the NFL, NBA, I think even rugby as well. I'm just wondering, what are the kind of transferable themes you see when you look at those sports?
I love sport. I am interested to meet people, and we are really lucky because we have access to do that, and we manage to do that all the time and interchange opinions, experiences, and ideas with all the coaches.